So, season 1, episode 1 of Total Divas starts out with introducing us to the Bella twins. And they basically explain how they were in WWE together and how WWE is a big organization and how they're shown all over the world. And they've been gone for 11 months. And apparently, the other girls are very envious that they're coming back. So, we'll see how that plays out. We then get introduced to the Funkadactyls, which is Adrian and Naomi, which is Trinity. She uses her real name in this show. They explain how they are pretty much the face of the company since the Bella twins left, and how there's a hierarchy, how you have the top people, which are the face, you have your mid-cards, and then you have your veterans, where we get introduced to Natalya. Natty is kind of like a Nepo baby. She explains how her uncle is the great Bret Hart and her father is Jim Neidhart, and how she is also a wrestler as well. Now that all the introductions are out of the way, we hop right into the episode. So we see the Bella twins in the gym, and they are training their butts off to get ready to get back into the ring and to be debuting back in WWE. Also, we see Trinity and her tag team partner, Adrian, with the Funkadactyls. They are also training. They're talking about WrestleMania, and Trinity's husband, Jimmy Uso, or his real name, John, as he goes by in this show, is there to help them train and get ready. So we then see Natty training along with her dad and her husband, Tyson Kidd, and she is explaining how even though she's a Nepo baby, that she hasn't had it easy. She had to work extra hard to get to where she is. Mostly, I think, from my perspective, is because she's female, because she goes on to explain how WrestleMania has about 6 guys matches and there's 1 girls match, and all the ladies in the locker room pretty much fight and claw for that 1 match. We then see Nikki Bella and John Cena on a cute little fishing date, and she explains how he's her boyfriend and pretty much the introduction of him. Although there is one unflattering image that I noticed while I was watching it, and he is with P. Diddy. So I had to include that in here, but yeah, that aged like milk. We then see Brie Bella, and she introduces her boyfriend, Bryan Danielson, and she explains how she's pretty much like the total opposite of her sister. She likes to cook, she likes to go to the farmer's market, and they have a little dog named Josie. They also live in San Diego and not too far from each other, which is nice being sisters. Speaking of them being quite close to each other, Nikki comes over for a visit and shows off her new Range Rover, which her boyfriend John Cena got her, and the girls get together for a hangout. We then see Natty, and she's explaining all about WrestleMania, how it's like the Super Bowl of the wrestling world for them, and how it takes everyone like literally a week from production to all the backstage to put everything together, plus all the superstars out doing charity work. We see a scene where her bosses sit her down and pretty much tell her the heartbreaking news that she will not be in WrestleMania. She was working so hard for it and thought that there might be a chance, but she was let known that it wasn't going to be possible, and that there was going to be some women wrestling, but they were in mixed tag teams, and she was quite upset that the Bellas were actually in one of the matches because they had been gone a year. She helped train them to wrestle, and she just wanted, her chance to shine as well. Her bosses then proceed to tell her that they have some new recruits coming along, and she thinks that Natty would be a good, mentor to them. But really, to give her that news right after telling her she's not in WrestleMania, me personally, I would be brokenhearted. And then it's like, oh, by the way, you want me to train the new ones too? Like, I don't know. I would feel kind of used, but I understand why she stuck it out and why she wanted to leave her mark on the wrestling world. So those new girls are JoJo and Eva Marie. And we see them come in and they're talking to the boss, who is Jane. And Jane informs Eva Marie, just to kind of differentiate from the Bella Twin look, that she should switch up her hair and maybe go blonde. Eva isn't too keen on this, and in later episodes, we will see why. I've already watched Total Divas, and I feel like maybe a lot of you have too, but if you haven't, I'm not going to spoil it yet for you, but we will see a change with Eva Marie. They then get introduced to Brie and Natty, and Jane tells the girls that Natty will be their chaperone for the week. They've also gone over the hair issue, and Brie smartly says, "What do you think about that?" And Eva Marie kind of like laughs it off, but she tells Eva Marie, "Welcome to WWE," because there's always a rhyme and a reason, and if they want you to be or look a certain way to have you stand out, that's what they're going to have you do, and rightfully so. It is their company, and you're just kind of the worker there wrestling. So, again, we'll see how Eva Marie takes this and what she does with this. We then head over to the rehearsals of WrestleMania, and Natty is explaining to us how she's pretty much stuck babysitting the two new girls and Ariane's boyfriend. I kept saying her name was Adrian. It's Ariane, so my mistake. Ariane's very upset. She comes back from rehearsals backstage, and her boyfriend wants to know what's going on, and Brutus, one of the guys that they're wrestling with in the mixed tag team match, he pretty much called her out in front of everyone and said that she couldn't wrestle, and she's very upset by this. Her boyfriend gets all upset and claims that he's going to talk to her. Trinity, which is Naomi in WWE, is kind of concerned with this, and I don't blame her because she's a part of a tag team with Ariane, and this affects her as well. If her boyfriend does anything to kind of mess up or ruffle any feathers with any other wrestlers, it could become an issue, and they could possibly get fired over it. John, which is Jimmy Uso, Naomi's fiance at the time, he steps in to also tell Ariane's boyfriend, just drop it. Don't say anything. You're not going to do anything. But he's not listening. He's like so pissed off and going off the handle. Natty actually stepped in and helped get the situation settled. But still, it's like if you can't handle yourself when your woman's at work, and I understand she's rightfully so upset because she was told she couldn't wrestle in front of everyone, and it would have been embarrassing, but you don't step in. There's times where you do and there's times where you don't, and this is supposed to be a professional working environment, so you don't step in. And I'm really glad that Natty stepped in and settled it and simmered the tensions between everyone. We then see Trinity and John in the car, and they are pretty much discussing what had happened with Ariane and her boyfriend, and pretty much said what I had said, that it is very unprofessional, and it's supposed to be a work environment, so he shouldn't be in there, even though I totally get he's standing up for his women, or his woman, but he should not be in there and causing a disturbance in their workplace. We see Eva Marie in the salon, and she is just about to go blonde. She had all of the red stripped out of her hair, and she looked at herself. She just couldn't do it. So she decided to go Rihanna red, and we'll see how her bosses take that. So we get to see it right away because her bosses, Jane, wants to see her hair right after her appointment, and she was shocked. The first words out of her mouth was, "Wow, what happened to blonde?" Her overall opinion was she liked the red on her, and that this time it worked out well that Eva Marie maybe had not listened to her bosses, but in the future, if she wants to keep a job, she needs to listen to direction and follow it pretty much. And I don't blame her bosses. I would be a little bit pissed off too, but running WWE, I could see like, okay, well, it's just hair. It will work with it. Like, we'll make it fit. But the little attitude in Eva Marie, like, I don't know, you're working for them. They're paying you. And if they want you to do something, I would assume you would have to do it. I don't know. I just kind of don't like her attitude. And she's kind of like fighting against the grain. And for what? Like, what? I don't get it. I don't get her, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how she is in upcoming episodes. We see everyone at the WWE WrestleMania kickoff party, and Natty's explaining how all the divas get to walk the red carpet. She feels kind of left out, though, like she's doing them a favor, which, I mean, I guess she kind of is a little bit, but she is, I guess, hosting or taking or interviewing, doing questions. She's on the mic pretty much for WWE. But at the same time, if I were Natty, I wouldn't look at it so negatively. Like, okay, yeah, you get your little moment on the red carpet, but I think what she's doing is more of an important job, and it's more promotion for her side because you can see her all night doing like the interviews, and maybe some people would be unaware that, hey, she could be a wrestler, but that's where her bosses have to come in and throw her in a match so people get hooked on her. The Bellas are trying to haze Eva Marie and JoJo at the party. They say that there's a pecking order. They are the veterans, and so they should be the ones getting all the pictures done. And they tell Eva Marie and JoJo to go get them drinks because no one really knows them yet, so you don't really need to be taking pictures. It's kind of funny a little bit, but I mean, I could see like why Eva Marie would get a little bit of an attitude about it. She's pretty good. I mean, behind the scenes, she had an attitude. In front of them, she was pretty good about it. And she claims that it's only going to be happening the one and only time. But we shall see. We then see a cutscene of Brie and Nikki, and they look like they're out to lunch somewheres. They are discussing ring shopping as Brie is going ring shopping. And Nikki is, I wouldn't say resentful, but you could see like she's a little bit upset. I think she wants to marry John Cena. I mean, she did. It's quite obvious, but I'm not going to spoil anything. Like I said, I'm not going to put those spoilers out there, but yes, she did want to be with John Cena and marry him, but in this moment, she's just very unsure because he's had a divorce and he kind of doesn't want to do that all over again. But like I said, we will see in the future how he feels because I will be recapping all of these Total Diva episodes just for you guys. And because I actually absolutely love the show. It's pretty good. We see Trinity and Ariane, and Trinity already had a conversation with her about her boyfriend and how he should cool it at work and not fly off the handle, especially if other wrestlers have opinions on his girlfriend and maybe they're not like the greatest opinions, but it's supposed to be a professional environment. So Ariane said to Trinity that she would talk to him, and she got a little bit defensive about it, but Trinity, rightfully so, is just concerned because it's a work partnership and it's a work environment, and she just wants to keep everything, friendly, professional, and fun. Nikki and John are at a dinner, and Nikki informs John that she's kind of worried about their relationship. She eventually wants to be married. She knows that he feels differently about that because John Cena has already been married, and she's just looking for a little bit more of a commitment because she doesn't want to let go of the relationship. She really loves him, but she wants more. John is trying to reassure her, and he says that he loves spending time with her, and you never know what the future may hold. It's the day of WrestleMania, and Brie and Nikki are backstage getting ready and watching Brie's boyfriend, Daniel Bryan, win the tag team championship. We also see the Funkadactyls backstage, and they're trying to get ready. However, their costumes are not ready. So they're in a little bit of a panic and stressed out. The Funkadactyls get their costumes very last moment and put them on. And both the Funkadactyls and the Bella Twins are supposed to be out in the ring with their tag team mixed partners. However, we see Natty backstage watching, and we're watching John Cena come out. She knows there's something wrong, and when she sees this happen, and she kind of figures that there was not enough time for the match. When Natty sees John Cena, she assumes that there's something wrong and goes downstairs to figure out what it is. And she finds out that the girls got cut from WrestleMania. The match before their match went overtime, and therefore they couldn't have their match, so they ended up getting cut. The Bella Twins were quite emotional about this, and I would be too if I were them. Both the Bellas and the Funkadactyls kind of break down, and they were kind of just disappointed because they worked so hard to be there for WrestleMania, and they ended up getting cut, and there was absolutely nothing they could do about it. So that was episode 1 of Total Divas. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and we'll be back with episode 2 maybe in a couple weeks or so time. Until then, like, comment, share, subscribe, and I will see you with the next one. Bye, guys.